Hey! About this percentage of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so if you want the backwards Mario head to turn in the right way, you'd honestly appreciate it, and also I would appreciate it. Anyways, play my intro.
I'll stand just like a statue, just like you, acting like the sky's just about to fall.
Hello, welcome back, NintendoLper here. So, it has been since 2018 that I have made a story video, and now that I'm finally out of high school, I can finally tell some stories. Well, if I can remember any of them. But this video is not going to be about anything from high school. In fact, it's going to be from elementary school, back when I was a wee young lad. Also, I hope you all enjoy the throwback where I just have gameplay in the background and I just talk out of my ass for however long this video is going to be. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, you can put this video on in another tab, just relax, read a book, or just do some other stuff they have to focus on. Now, this story takes place around 2010 to 2011, and at that time, there were many different types of electronics out. Like, for an example, Nintendo had the Nintendo Wii, which was their main home console at the time, because they weren't really focusing on that, because they were mainly focusing on handheld stuff, such as releasing new renditions of the DS, including the DSi, but also mainly focusing on releasing in 2011 their new 3DS. But I guess to also give some non-Nintendo examples, there was also Amazon releasing their Kindle Fire, and Apple at that time releasing their new iPhone, but also revealing the new iPad. Some of the things I owned at the time were the Nintendo Wii, which I sadly never really got to sink a lot of hours into because I always ended up scratching my Wii discs. So I ended up sinking a lot of hours into playing my DSs that I had. And I even remember when I first got my 3DS in 2011, I would sink so many hours into 3D Land and Mario Kart 7. Those were really good memories. But also another thing I did have was a 4th generation iPod, which I will forever be grateful for that thing because that is honestly how I got into slowly making my own kind of videos. And it's just, that's the only thing I was able to really watch YouTube on. And also, if you remember the old YouTube icon on the iPod, I'm so old. That's nuts how that icon is pretty much over 10 years old now. That's so dumb. And crazy enough, I actually had 2 4th generation iPods. The first one I don't really remember when I got, but I remember in 2012 completely breaking it. But then in the same year, I actually got a new one. And that thing lasted me until 2017 when I finally got like a 6th generation iPod. Because here's the thing, at that time period, I just could not get an iPhone, and plus I was way too young to have one. So honestly, that thing was really useful. I pretty much treated it like a phone, I'm going to be honest. And funny enough, when I had my 6th generation iPod, I would actually used to use that to film old YouTube videos with. But when I got my first phone, which was an Android, I ended up using the Android's hotspot to power my iPod half the time, but finally in 2020, I finally got an iPhone. But anyways, I'm getting off track. Let's get back to the story. So my elementary school allowed kids to bring their electronics, but they could only use them during recess or during free time. And I always brought in my DS or my 3DS sometimes just to play games. But the one thing I would sometimes bring is my 4th gen iPod. And now at the time, YouTube vloggers and pranksters were the big craze. Like for an example, at that time, I would always watch Prank vs. Prank or The Angry Grandpa Show, which The Angry Grandpa Show, rest in peace to Angry Grandpa, was a channel where his son Michael would always prank him and get him into a all caps rage. And there was also Prank vs. Prank, which was pretty much this couple, Jesse and Gina at the time, getting themselves pissed off at each other. Now, both of these YouTubers had their own vlog channels. Like for an example with Angry Grandpa Show, Michael had Kid Behind the Camera, where he would upload aftermaths of the videos on the Angry Grandpa Show, but also he would film his daily life. And Jesse and Gina had their own channel called BF vs. GF, where pretty much they would also film their daily lives as well. Now, I really enjoyed both watching their vlogs, as I would always constantly watch them, but this also inspired me on my own to do quote vlogs, where they weren't really vlogs. It would pretty much be like 1-minute clips of me just talking to myself about random crap, because my iPod at the time just didn't have a lot of storage, so I couldn't film like 5-minute vlogs of me talking about whatever or just doing cool things. It was just pretty much me just staring at the camera, just rambling about the most randomest things ever. And I'm glad those videos are gone, man. Well, actually no, some of them aren't gone. There is these vlogs from 2013 that I can probably never release, but hey, it may be down the road. I'll probably release them, but maybe at a certain sub goal. What sub goal? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. So one day I decided to bring in my iPod to school, and I was going to try to watch YouTube during recess because I had nothing else to do, even though I could have played with other kids. But of course I completely forgot that you need internet to access the YouTube app. So I ended up instead just thinking, you know what? What about I just walk around outside and do a vlog instead of, again, trying to find some people to play with? So I was walking around this track that my school had, and I was trying to think of ideas. But first, I decided just to do some vlogs where I was just rambling to myself or whatever. But halfway through, I had this idea. I was like, you know what? How could I spice things up? So I decided, you know what? What if I do a scare prank on someone? So I was trying to think of some ideas on how I could scare some people, and I remember walking by this area where I saw these kids playing on their DS. I was like, maybe I could scare them. But here's the thing, or here's the catch. I wasn't going to tell them anything. I was just going to scare them and film it and get their raw reaction, because I thought that was the best thing to do, when in reality, that was probably not a good idea. So I go near the area that they were in, and right in front of them is a staircase that kind of leads more down into other playgrounds. So I decided I'm going to set up my iPod in this little railing area where it can stand up and film them, which for some reason they did not see me at all set up my iPod, because I'm guessing they were just mainly focused on playing their DS game or whatever. So I ended up setting it up, and I don't remember if I hit record or not. I think I did, but I don't really remember. It's been that long ago. So I sneak off and I try to get in position, and I try to find an area so they didn't see me or hear me coming. So there's this wall that was next to that area where they were all sitting in. So I kind of went up against the wall where they couldn't see me, and at the right moment, I went like, boo! And I scared them all, and they all started screaming like, ah, oh my god! Well, not really like that. They just all screamed. And as I did that, I ran to get my camera to be like, haha, pranked or whatever. But as I was doing that, I could hear one of them say, wait, you're recording? And I ran away as fast as I could, giggling to myself, and pretty much I started filming, or not film, I didn't start filming, I was already filming, I think, and I started saying, haha, guys, I pranked them really good, and I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it was harmless. I thought there was nothing wrong with it, until the end of recess, where a teacher came up to me, and was like, Jason, were you filming people without their consent, or not, or filming people without telling them? And I said to the teacher, yeah. Or I think the teacher was just asking, were you filming people? And I was like, yeah, or whatever. And she was like, listen, what you did was not good, or it was inappropriate or whatever. I forgot what the teacher said, to be honest. And she was like, listen, you need to send, or you need to go down to the principal's office and you need to show her that footage. Because I guess the thing that the kids were worried about, and also the teacher was worried about, is me uploading it to YouTube. But here's the thing. At that time, I did not have a YouTube channel. Even though at the time I really wanted one, and I would say, oh yeah, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, I could never even upload it because, again, I didn't have a channel and I had nowhere to upload it to. Literally, it would just sit in my camera roll doing nothing and mainly just taking up space. But I guess another thing they were possibly worried about is, because at that time, or around that time, Sandy Hook happened, which, if you don't know what Sandy Hook is, it was this tragedy that happened where a school shooter came into an elementary school and did some horrible things. That's all I'm going to put it, because this is a YouTube video. I'll probably, even though I'm not even monetized, I just don't want to really say that. But I guess they were worried that maybe I was saying some things alluding to that kind of thing, even though that was not on my mind at all. But I understand, coming from a teacher and principal standpoint, that's what they're probably worried about. But when the teacher said, hey, you have to show the video to the principal, the one thing I was worried about was her hearing me swear. That was the one thing I was mainly worried about. So I remember going to my classroom, and I went to my bag to put either my lunchbox away or put something away. But before I went down, I deleted the footage. And I went down to the principal, and she was like, Jason, can I see the footage? And I told her, oh, it's not there. It's gone. And I don't remember exactly what the principal said, but I think that situation led me to having a detention for 1 day and not being able to go to recess. And my other punishment was I was not able to bring in electronics anymore to school, which sucks, because here's the thing, like the iPod I understand, but literally I can't bring in my DS anymore, where I can just play Mario games and just not bother anyone. But I guess that's a good thing, because one, literally the next day after I got done with my detention, I went outside and played with some other kids, and I just played kickball with them. So that happened, and to be honest, I don't know if there was any other stuff going on behind the scenes at the school or in my grade, because I didn't really pay attention. But a week goes by, and we all get called down to the library. And I think it was our grade specifically. I don't know if any other grades were there. But they were all going to talk to us about electronic use and just electronic safety in general. They pretty much just talked about how they can be a distraction sometimes and how some people didn't use them appropriately, aka me. But they didn't name drop me because that would be messed up. So they started talking about how they were distractions. They eventually got to the point of where they said, we are not allowing kids to bring in their electronics anymore to school. And as soon as I heard that, I could feel the stares of all the kids looking at me, or my grade just looking at me. And that was the time I got electronics banned from my school. Now, am I proud of it? No, because here's the thing. I was a dumb kid, man. And plus, I understand trying to ban electronics for other kids, so maybe it would help them not be distracted in class or whatever. But still, I just can't believe I was the sole reason. I was the straw that broke the camel's back to making them ban electronics. But yeah, hopefully that teaches you all something. One, don't film people without consent, and just overall, don't be dumb. But yeah, that was pretty much the story. I really can't remember anything else that happened. But eventually because I think that was either in 3rd or 4th grade, eventually when we got to like 5th and 6th grade, kids were able to bring in their electronics again. And heck, we had our own iPads in the classrooms anyways, so that rule was long gone, and that is pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else. Guys, if you enjoyed this story video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video, which I don't know when that's going to be. Actually, I know when that's going to be, but I don't know what my next actual video is going to be, since I think my last video was the DDP video. But anyways, that's all again. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!